We have the local hero that I mentioned at the start of the evening to close out the evening, the man who did the Great Yorkshire Fringe's own show. It is, of course, I'll bring him out in a second, it's Chris Booker's his name. But you guys, you've been a lovely audience tonight, so can you please start with those feet. Bring in the hands. Bring it right down. Chris Booker!
I love that that's been used as like, oh, well done, he did a show at the Yorkshire Fringe. What you don't know is I set up my own free fringe. I was the one who was responsible for the free fringe at 1331. I don't know if any of you have heard of it. And I'm guessing by all the blank faces, good use of a month of my time. So basically, the recommendation that I've been brought onto is he thought that the £7 minimum ticket price that he had to charge would price him out the market. So he constructed his own fringe to do his show, and now I'm here to close out for you. You lucky lot. I notice all the laughs are from in there, because they can leave whenever they want, and we won't know. Is this anyone else's weirdest gig they've ever been to? Yes. Yeah, this is my first gig of 2019. My last gig of 2018 was at York Uni. I did a show for, I know the guy who runs the Comedy Society, and I'm not actually a student, but I turned up as like a man, just doing some stand-up. Just got up on stage and just had a go of it. And basically, I turned up to the gig, and it was in this massive, well, it wasn't really, it was in the same building as this massive auditorium. And I thought, okay, am I going to be playing here? No. And also, I'm quite glad, because there was a society that was practicing. It was the Darts Society. And I was sort of glad that I wasn't going to be performing in front of people who, I've never had anything thrown at me. And I didn't really want the first thing to be thrown at me by a professional and it to be pointy. But I got up, and the cable that made the microphone work wasn't long enough. So there was no microphone at that gig. And it turns out I've been doing stand-up for 3 years. And this is a habit now. So I occasionally was just telling jokes just like this, just sort of, hey, you alright? I looked mad. Basically I was introduced, my name's Chris Booker, and there is a professional comedian called Chris Brooker, so I've been introduced wrong so many times. And this guy, who is a friend of mine, went, marvellous comedian, please welcome to the stage, Chris Dutton. That's a new one. So I went up on stage and then did my thing. Then afterwards he went, I'm really sorry. As I was introducing you, I realised halfway through saying your name, I don't know your name. So I just thought I'd have a go. In which case, fair play, that's not far off. So yeah, I'm a full-time comedian, by which I mean I'm unemployed. Because in terms of, I do this in terms of like most of my time, but in terms of like if you're tracking a job based on money, my full-time job is finding money on the floor. That's been going brilliantly this year. So I'm going to do a few things for you. I am 23 years old. Well, not really. Not in terms of what I've achieved. No, really, I'm about 14 years old. Because all the people I went to school with, they left school at 16 in 2011, and they've since gone on to get jobs, get married, have kids, plural kids. And conversations I have with them go something like, oh, so I met John at work, and we got together, and little Kevin came along, and things didn't really work out between me and John. We're still good parents to Kevin, and I'm preoccupied now with the club that I now run. So how have things been going with you? Got my hair cut last week. I made some steamed buns a while ago, and the recipe, I made them all up, and then the recipe said to steam them for 10 minutes. And I did that, and they were undercooked. So I left them in for another 10 minutes, and they were fine. Why would the recipe say 10 minutes? It's clearly 20. So I heard you started doing stand-up. How's that going? Talk about steamed buns. People sort of just stare at me. So I I'm quite immature, and I realised that because I went to my first ever friend's wedding a couple of years ago, and I realised that I perhaps wasn't very grown up by the way I got the phone call inviting me to that wedding. And I couldn't answer the phone straight away because I had to remove a piece of crisp packet from my tongue because I'd just spent the last 5 minutes on my own pretending to be a snake. I ran into my old primary school head teacher, and she asked me, "Oh, so how are things going with you, Chris?" And fairly recently, more recently than I would like to admit, I was still 23 when this happened. I was walking along. I have to wear a belt now because I lost a lot of weight. It felt like an achievement at the time, but and I realised that I had to wear a belt because my trousers kept falling down, and I was walking back from town eating a twirl, and it was summer, and the twirl had melted on my hands, and my trousers started falling down, but there was nothing I could do, and I had chocolate all over my hands. That's how my life is going, Mrs. Everson. So a little bit more about me. It looks like we're now moving into very old material. If you don't laugh, that's why. Oof. That was the start of it. So I don't drink. It is old. I've forgotten all of it. Oh, I wish I'd been drinking tonight. I don't drink, and I spend a lot of time because I come around to pubs like this and I perform, and I spend a lot of time around drunk people, and it usually means that in any group I'm the one who, who's most likely to remember things, and I'm also the one who, knows how to fucking whisper. I don't know if you've ever heard a drunk person whisper, but it sounds something like, Chris, I've got to tell you a secret! And I did, so I do spend a lot of time around drunk people, and I was once doing a gig I was once doing an open mic in a pub, and a man who was very drunk interrupted me, I think 7,000 times. But it's alright, because since I'm a proper comedian, I had the perfect comeback. Oh my god, I wish you'd been there. It was brilliant, it was witty, it was humble, and most of all it was funny. It was, however, 2 hours later, I was on my own. It didn't stop me from saying it out loud and imagining the cheering. This is an old joke. I spend a lot of time around drunk people, and they don't really have the best ideas. I was once out drinking with a group of girls, and they said, "Oh, we should go to this club." I don't remember what it was called. They've all got like one-word titles, haven't they? Infanticide. We'll go there. We'll go to this club, and it turns out that this club is a gay bar, and I didn't want to go, and I still don't want to go. And it's not for any political reasons. It's not for any prejudicial reasons. It's because I've made peace with the fact that I put off all women. That's fine. I got an email from all women that just says no. But I don't want to turn up to a gay bar and find out that it's not just all women. I don't want to be leaving that place thinking, oh, remember when only half the population was repulsed by me? Weren't those the days? No, it's good. New stuff. Better. No, I've judged you. Do you want to hear a real... Right, I'm going to close out on a joke that goes 50-50. The first time I did it, cheering, round of applause, and every other time since, nothing. which isn't a gamble, that's a fluke. But I need to emphasize a couple of things, because, this is how the world works. I run an open mic similar to this, that's on tomorrow, so if you like comedy similar to this, that's on tomorrow at the Angel on the Green, and that's free entry down Bishop Thorpe Road. Absolutely marvellous place, it's our first one of the year. I host it, and I'm much more childish and talk way more about Queen. Again, all the laughs from that room because they know. I'm not doing the It's so close. But also, I'm running a professional night at 13:31, which is ticketed. You have to pay money for that. I know. So I'm sorry. Otherwise, I lose a significant amount of money. So if you've liked what I do, please mean that I live in the same house for a bit longer. We've got a proper professional act. Christian Riley, who's worked up with Richard Herring, is our headliner. And we've got two supports from local talent, and that is at 13:31 on the 24th of January. Now, would you like to hear this fluke of a joke? Yeah, that's right. You're either going to walk me out here on cheers, or I'm going to be shooed out of here. And that will be where the cheers come in. Right. Okay, so I don't drink. And there are so many reasons why I don't drink, most of which I won't tell you because I'm in a pub. And don't really want to burn one of the few bridges I have left. But one of the reasons it's very personal to me is for why I don't drink is I'm in my early 20s, I'm a stand-up and writer, and I talk quite a lot about miserable things. I was recently diagnosed with a mental health issue, and if I don't drink, and if you chuck an alcohol dependency into that, do you know what you get? You get a suicide that surprises no one. You can't see the faces in here. What's happening is I'm going to walk into a room where I'm a fucking champion. Out of a room where I am, at best, hated. Thank you very much. I've been Chris Booker. Good night.